One of the dilemmas of the work in dialogue, particularly citizen dialogue, is what I call the translation of the results of citizen dialogues into language that policymakers and decision makers understand. In general, I don't think the dialogue field we're as good as we need to be at doing that. And I think Canada's World had that challenge as well.
I was asked to come in and take a look at some of the data, if you will, that was collected during the discussions and the dialogues across the various parts of the country. And so in some sense, I was brought into the back end to help kind of figure out to a certain degree what the meanings that could be derived from the dialogues that were brought out. And then as the reporting and the analysis was done, I was involved to a certain degree in helping to synthesize and drive a concise message through the reporting process.
Ma formation de scientifique m'a beaucoup aidée dans l'analyse des données des dialogues parce qu'en fait, ça donne une certaine rigueur dans l'étude des données elles-mêmes et dans la mise en forme en fait de l'analyse.
Science is a very rigorous way of probing and reflecting and examining and questioning and making hypotheses and testing them and then making more hypotheses. Dialogue has a potential to be a very flaky endeavor in which people sit around and don't really say anything. Just kind of have a nice conversation around vague things. I think my scientific background has helped me to bring a sense of rigor and the necessity of moving along and having outcomes to those conversations, which is the richest way to have dialogue.
C'est très subjectif ce que les gens peuvent dire. Donc, en fait, ma formation de scientifique m'a permis de prendre du recul par rapport à ça et de vraiment comptabiliser mot par mot ce que les gens avaient dit, de catégoriser en quelque sorte leurs propos et de réussir à tirer de ces propos une analyse quantifiable des propositions qu'ils avaient à faire. Vraiment écouter chaque bande enregistrée et comptabiliser chaque mot. Voilà, c'était un travail très méticuleux, mais en même temps, je pense que c'était un travail qu'il était nécessaire de faire pour vraiment arriver à rendre justice au travail que les participants ont fourni au cours de ces dialogues.
They produced a new, from what I can tell, very original and innovative conception of what Canada's foreign policy could be about.
La nouvelle histoire est peut-être un raccourci par rapport à ce qui a été dit parce qu'il y avait une telle richesse dans les propos qu'il est difficile de le résumer en une simple présentation, même un simple rapport d'une centaine de pages ne suffirait pas à traduire cette richesse. Donc je pense qu'il y avait beaucoup plus de choses, mais qu'on a réussi à limiter ça à quelque chose qui est assez concis et qui explique bien vraiment les envies qu'avaient ces gens que nous avons rencontrés.
To have taken that book that they wrote, the fact that there was a movement strong enough to push it over a number of different levels, over a number of different months and years, is a real strength.
I came in right around the time when Back on the Map was about to be launched. Shauna wanted some publicity around it, so I did the press releases and I was contacting media to try and get the story of the report out just because it was the culmination of a lot of work from Canada's World. One major challenge was that on the day of the report, our website went down and we weren't actually able to distribute the report to a lot of people who might have otherwise been interested in taking a look at it. And it's really, once you lose that particular momentum, you lose a lot of the currentness about it, and I don't think we really came back from there.
Back on the Map, the synopsis publication of the Canada's World produced further to consultations in the last couple of years had just been issued, and we had a roundtable discussion as to what the material consisted of and what could be done to advance it and what its next steps could be.
We realized that we needed to focus much more on success and having a positive message. That was probably the biggest major change in the 2 years that I was there. When we started out, what we really wanted to do was just make people understand that Canada was not playing the role in the world that they thought it was, that we weren't this sort of friendly middle power peacekeeper, happy out there doing good things. So we did want people to realize that, and I don't think we lost that aspect of the project. But we also realized that they needed to understand what the alternatives were, or what was being done about it that was positive, that they could become part of, or that they could feel inspired by. And I think that's why we shifted even more from focusing on just what government was doing to define our role in the world to focusing on what other entities were doing to define our role in the world. So all the not-for-profit organizations that work abroad, all the individual Canadians that go abroad to work, and other organizations like that. And we wanted to show how even though government may not be enacting or pursuing policies that reflect the real values of Canadians, there are still these amazing Canadian organizations going out there and doing great things. So that was a big shift from wanting to really profile the shortcomings to wanting to really profile some of the successes and trying to figure out what the middle ground was between that so that we weren't still saying, oh, things are fine, the government's not doing stuff, but other organizations are doing stuff, don't worry. So people would still feel engaged, but that they would feel engaged and hopeful.
It's clear that there's a lot of enthusiasm, that there was pent-up enthusiasm on the part of many Canadians to contribute to defining Canada's role in the world. But I don't yet think that we've figured out how we turn that enthusiasm and interest into public policy, and that's the gap that we need to address.
I think Canada's World did an excellent job of citizen engagement and excitement and really taking seriously the values and views and interests and assets that people identify across the country. I think part of the challenge, and I'm not sure I would call it a weakness in terms of what Canada's World did, part of the challenge then is how do you connect that to the levers of power, to the policy development process in a way that both reflects the views of the people who are involved, but also takes a fairly sophisticated approach in terms of policy development and being able to maneuver those processes.
I'm not sure that government is structured in such a way as to receive inputs from non-traditional sources, from the broad population. And I think that that's an area of work that really, really needs some attention.
Early on, Canada's World made a choice. I think it probably was the right choice, but it meant that challenge was hard, and that choice was that it was a citizen-led process, and it wasn't a government-led process. The result of that, though, is that the framing of the issues and things weren't necessarily the way government might have framed them in order to be able to fit it into their policy-making process. So that dilemma of translation of results, if you like, was probably bigger than it might have been if it had been a government-led or had government as a key partner.